Right now, you're looking live at the Department of Education. Members of Congress, they're being denied entry into the building. The doors are locked. There's a security guard there. I'm guessing that's who's in the brown, tan-looking shirt, but we don't know for sure. They're having a tense conversation. Kind of want to listen in for a second here.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
Access to federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
do you know who members of Congress are?
Members of
Sure,
Congress.
we're all members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand.
A private security contractor is making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority as a private security contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah.
Too many guns out.
It's made declaration you want. Nothing's going to change.
Who told you to do this? Open the door.
I see your name.
So do you understand who members of Congress are?
And you don't care.
Who are we then?
You don't care.
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress.
With
We're parents,
identification.
we're teachers.
There's our ID, right there. This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job.
Oh, wow.
You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
Who are you protecting in
It's
there?
members of the People's
So
House.
this is the beginning of full transparency of this administration.
That's right.
The administration that talked about they're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't even open the door to this building, to members of Congress. We are not posing any threat here. We are not dangerous people. We have not done anything. We're trying to request a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
We are members of
Congressman
Congress
Hayes,
at the
what you're saying is
all-access entrance.
they allow billionaires and his minions to come in
I don't
to
know
this
who
building.
he is. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go in this building, but not the people's representatives. They allow billionaires and their cronies to go in, but not. There's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives, are not allowed in. This is not transparency.
They're locking our kids out.
Yeah. Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating
us. The kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
The children of this country deserve that battle.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia.
Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him.
Who is he?
This man here.
We are members of Congress.
Come in.
They're
and
blocking
I want you
us.
to see this man here, who is a federal employee. He told us.
No, he's not.
Are you a federal employee?
No.
Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here. All access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children. Children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem.
Now, everybody stand back and let the camera see. They're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us.
You've got to love this, guys. Personally, I love seeing all of these lefties melt down over the fact that they are losing control, losing power, losing autonomy over the minds of children, especially not being able to indoctrinate them anymore and not being able to brainwash them into their ideological cult, because Trump is getting rid of the Department of Education for a multitude of reasons. And one of the main ones being that we spend the most on education, yet around the world, by the way, we spend the most on education, yet we have some of the dumbest students in the world, right? The lowest test scores. So something needs to change. And he's just basically sending it back to the states. But you have to love the performative theater that these lefties are putting on. And everything to them is a show, right? I mean, I keep saying over and over, guys, the left, the entire left is like a woman at this point, right? Not only are they feminine in mind, but they also act and behave like a woman. And what I always teach you guys about women is you can never listen to what they say, just watch what they do, right? Because a woman will tell you things like, oh, I just want a nice guy. I want a guy to treat me right. I want somebody who won't cheat on me. Yet, if you look at her dating history, she dates guys who lie to her, who cheat on her, who aren't nice to her. It's the complete opposite. So you have to treat these wokies the same way. Don't listen to what they say, just watch what they do. And if you watch what the Democrat Party has done for many years now, even beyond the last 4 years, what have they really done to serve the people? What have they really done to help, right? Outside of like the LGBTQ, the trannies, and people that they're in bed with. I would say that's pretty much all they focus on. Or like, if you're not trans or LGBTQ, they could care less about you, right? This is why they lost the election. People were being tired of being ignored. People felt like they were just not being seen by this party. That's why so many people left the Democrat Party and voted Trump. A lot of independents, right? He won over a ton of independents for the same reason. However, here you have Maxine Waters and all these Congress people, especially Maxine Waters. She's supposed to be, based in California. What is she doing all the way in D.C. at the Department of Education? Why are they all storming this one door with cameras? I mean, it's clearly planned, right? It's not like they're showing up to work. That's not where her office is. That's not where the Congress, all those Congress people, that's not where they work. What are you doing? Why are you there? You're there for cameras, right? You're there because you still think the American public is dumb and that you are fighting for our rights. We're fighting for your rights. Look, we're here at the Department of Education. They won't let us in. This evil man, the security guard, this poor security guard, right? I mean, he's probably getting paid peanuts to block this door. And, they saw an opportunity like, oh, let's put the cameras here. I mean, they're no different than CNN, like staging all this stuff. Not only did they run the most phoniest candidate of all time, being Kamala Harris. I mean, this woman just got called out by Joe Rogan for lying about their interview. She wrote in a book. She even had the audacity to put pen to paper and put in a book that he like screwed her over, and he purposely only had Trump on there and he didn't invite her, and like Joe Rogan like flat out called her out. You should find that clip on YouTube. It's going viral. It just came out yesterday, I believe, or earlier today. But she's constantly getting caught in these lies. Same thing with the 60 Minutes interview, heavily edited. No, we edited that for time. It's like, if you edited for time, how come you clipped out only the clips where she was word salading? Why didn't you clip out other clips? How come you clip clips together to make her seem like she knows what she's talking about? Is that for time, or is that because you're trying to help her? So I don't trust the left as far as I can throw them anymore. Just like I don't really trust most women as far as I can throw them. I mean, not saying like, like they're all cheaters, but just saying I don't trust what they say. I trust what they do. And the left is no different than a woman. Do not listen what they say. Watch what they do. Okay? When they go, oh, we're going to pass the Inflation Reduction Act, and they hire 80,000, IRS agents to go after people, making less than 75K. We're going to make those millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share. And then what do? They go after people making $600 on eBay and Etsy. Make sure you pay your taxes. Does that sound like they're trying to help go after the rich, or they're going after you, right? Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. right? And I do the same thing with the right. I do the same thing with the right. I don't listen to what they say. I watch what they do. Everything Trump's doing right now, I'm very impressed, but I'm like, why didn't you do this in 2016? You know, you should have done this a long time ago. Why, this is just happening now. This should have been happening 8 years ago. But nevertheless, it's happening now. And I love seeing these people freak out that they're losing power, they're losing control, they're losing the ability to indoctrinate your children into their little cults, into their little ideologies. And it's awesome, right? It's awesome. But you see them just, Lord, just the arrogance, right? The amount of arrogance that they have to sit there, like stand there at the store acting like, no, what did she say? She was like, we're not thugs, we're not criminals, we're Congress people. Oh my goodness, you are the biggest thugs and the biggest criminals on the planet. What are you talking about? Right? You're the biggest thugs out there. I mean, if that is not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. But that was just hilarious, and I guarantee people called her out for that in the comments. But because, like a woman, they have no self-awareness, they're completely full of themselves. They don't think, they can't see any reality outside of their little bubble. They don't get it, right? And this is why, the DNC is just a complete poop show at this point. I mean, it's just a complete circus. And as somebody who was always just independent, I try to always stay in the middle. I'm really starting to despise the left, the DNC, the Democrat. I'm really despising that entire, it really is. Joe Rogan called it a cult. I agree with him. It's absolutely a cult at this point. It's totally a cult. You can't say otherwise. People say, oh no, MAGA's a cult. Nah, no, there's some hardcore MAG out there, but like most of these hardcore lefties right now have lost their minds. They're absolutely beyond crazy at this point. They're complete psychopaths. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. They've completely just lost their minds. And I'm glad, people are seeing them for what they are. More and more people are waking up. And they think that they're winning by pulling this little performative theater in front of the Department of Education, which I call the Department of Indoctrination, really. That's really what it is. Right? They think they're winning like brownie points with the American public. No, people are just looking at them like, what a bunch of clowns, what a bunch of buffoons. Look how desperate you look. They just look desperate at this point. It's sad. They look desperate. And people are seeing it. People are seeing it, and people are also tired of their gaslighting. The whole thing, like, should do a separate video on that, about like how they're freaking out, like, oh, Trump, he'll be the first president in U.S. history. I've literally heard them say this just today. He's going to be the first president in U.S. history to weaponize the government against his political opponents. It's like, are you kidding me? Hey, are you seriously kidding me? Did you not see what's happened to Trump the last few years, right? I mean, all they did was go after him. They put his, associates in jail, prison, right? Even as supporters, right? At that January 6th thing, there were people who weren't even there that got, imprisoned. I just heard a statistic that the FBI, they're unraveling this, that the FBI spent 40% of their time going after January 6ers, Catholic parents at school that were showing up at school board meetings, people who are pro-life. These were the people that are going after. They weren't going after dangerous terrorists or murderers, rapists, drug cartels. No, they were going after their own citizens. Besides Trump, and besides his own lawyers. I mean, they went after all of them. They tried to put Trump in jail for 240 years. What are you talking about? You haven't weaponized. He's the first to weaponize the government. He's just punching back, and I'm glad he is. I think an example needs to be set. I'm always a fan of just like, let your actions speak for itself. But at this point, the Democrats have become like gangsters, right? They're just like gangsters at this point. They're just and really cringy gangsters, right? Like just really cringy gangsters that are essentially bullies, right? Bullies that will just not stop. It's kind of like, the schoolyard bully. You try to give him a chance to just back off and like, hey, and you try to reason with him. You try to tell him, you just try to be nice to him. No matter what you do, the more and more he hates you, the more and more he picks on you. He won't leave you alone. He keeps making up rumors about you. He keeps, messing with you. And then one day you just go, all right, I'm just going to punch this guy in the face. And you do, right? You do. And then he stops. So I think that's what happens. That's what needs to happen at this point, is Trump needs to punch back. Plain and simple. So as always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. and this debacle that they're putting on in front of the Department of Indoctrination. Let me know your thoughts below.